Kailash Maridine Baba ten Vedura Kailash.
Uttarakhand, the northern state of India, allures everyone with its mountains, scenic beauty, simple people and a tough lifestyle. Formerly known as Uttaranchal, the state is referred to as Devbhumi, meaning the land of the gods, because of its various Hindu temples and pilgrimages. Pilgrims from all over the country overcome many a challenge to get here. The tough travel is seen as a soul-cleansing experience. Nanda Devi Raj-jat is one of the toughest and the most important religious events of the Chamoli district in the Garhwal region of Uttarakhand. Stretching across 3 weeks, it is a 280-kilometer long trek that takes place once in 12 years. The event involves tough trekking to accompany the area's ruling goddess Nanda Devi to her destination Kailash, home of her consort Lord Shiva. In simple terms, Jat means the traditional farewell of a girl from her parents' house to her marital home. The Rajas of Garhwal initiated the Yatra or journey and added the word Raj or royal to it. Thousands of devotees take up this long, arduous trek to escort the goddess to her marital home. The origin of the Yatra is believed to have been in the 9th century AD and was said to have been started by the king of Garhwal. This tough trek occurs once in 12 years, only when a miraculous 4-horned sheep is born in the village. The trek starts from Naughty village near Karnprayag and ends at Homkund with 19 halts in all. Each halt witnesses various sacred rituals during the long trek. Pilgrims from far and wide bring with them ornately decorated dolis and chhatris to offer to the goddess. As the avatar of the goddess, the sheep is also decorated with ornaments, clothes and other offerings. The tough trek starts with animated merrymaking and colourful offerings through the trying path. The pilgrims carry festooned umbrellas called chatolis and dolis or palanquins with them and sing traditional folk songs throughout the journey. This is the traditional Uttaranchali farewell to a bride when she goes to her new house after the wedding. The first halt for the trekkers is at Era Badhani. Legend states that goddess Nanda Devi promised the village headman that she would visit him every time she passed through and accept offerings from him. The villagers of Era Badhani follow this age-old custom and a puja is performed here when the pilgrims reach the village. After resting for the night, the pilgrims take the deity back to Naughty, making it the second night's halt. Here, Naughtyals, the natives of Naughty village, welcome them back. The members of the procession are offered meals and a place to rest as they have a long journey ahead over the next few days. The following day, the procession moves from Naughty to Kansua village, where a fair awaits the pilgrims. This is the third halt of the trek. As in the other halts, the pilgrims get a hearty welcome here as well. the residents of Kansua perform the Mahadev Puja to worship Lord Shiva, consort of Nanda Devi. The procession keeps swelling in size as more pilgrims join in whilst it progresses from one village to another. The next day, the trekkers head to Sem. They are greeted here by other singing and dancing pilgrims. There is a full night of celebration and prayer known as Jagar at the Nanda Devi temple. Further ahead, the village of Koti becomes the next halt for the trekkers. This region has yet another Nanda Devi temple where a puja and a fair are arranged. Pilgrims believe that the goddess was overwhelmed with sorrow after reaching this spot on realizing how far she had travelled away from her family. The trek becomes steeper and tougher up ahead, but the pilgrims continue undaunted and with the same fervour. They believe that the toughness of the trek symbolizes the emotional turmoil that the goddess went through. On the 7th day of the pilgrimage, the devotees reach Kulsari. Here again, the villagers put up a huge celebration. This day always falls on Amavasya, a moonless night, the night of goddess Kali, a reincarnation of Nanda Devi. On this day, at this village, a Kali Yantra is dug out of the ground, worshipped and buried again. A puja is performed at the village's ancient Nanda Devi temple. From here begins the area of the goddess's marital home or sasural, thus making it an important halt. Nanda Devi idols or jhankis representing the goddess are brought from areas nearby and merge with the procession. The trek will become tougher and the pilgrims will face more challenges ahead. The procession makes its next halt at Shipron the next day. There is no specific temple or puja for the goddess here. The pilgrims stay up all night while singing hymns in honor of Nanda Devi. On reaching Mandoli, the 11th halt, a fair awaits the pilgrims and the women folk of the village sing songs in praise of the goddess during the night's Jagar before the procession moves on the next day to Van. Van's local deity, Latu Dev, has a temple here which is surrounded by massive deodar trees. The doors of this temple are kept closed to people and opened only on the day Nanda Devi's Raj-jat Yatra comes here. The procession swells greatly in size as numerous pilgrims join the Raj-jat here. Nanda Devi's devotees from surrounding villages bring with them colourful dolis or palanquins, offerings and gifts to bid farewell to their goddess. Some overwhelmed pilgrims show their frenzy and religious fervour, while others seem to be possessed and entranced by the goddess. Sadhus and priests are seen calming people who are in a trance. This is an unforgettable experience, with the beating of drums and the loud chanting of Nanda Devi mantras in the background. There is an unexplained, haunting excitement in the environment as the trek ascends further. Surrounded by deodar trees, the trek moves forward within the dense alpine forest on a steep, narrow path. Having travelled for 13 days, the trekkers reach Gairoli Patal. From here, the four-horned sheep leads the trek, followed by the dolis of Nanda Devi and her devout followers. Legend holds that the goddess and her consort, Lord Shiva, cleansed themselves here. Hence, it is a significant Hindu pilgrimage. The next destination is known as Pathar Nachania. This is the 14th halt. A scenic path takes the trekkers to the holy Bedani Kund. The lake has lukewarm water on one side and ice-cold water on the other. People believe that it is here that Lord Shiva married goddess Parvati. Here one can find rare species of wild Himalayan flowers spread across the valley. The lake also has many legends attached to it. It seems that Nanda Devi once visited Queen and King Jasdhaval of Kannauj in his courtroom. Nanda Devi asked the queen for her kingdom, but she was refused. Furious, the goddess then cast a curse of drought upon the kingdom and left. The troubled king and queen were advised to go on the Nanda Devi Raj-jat to beg the goddess for forgiveness. On the way, they rested for a while and asked dancers to entertain them. This was not acceptable as such a holy place, thus angering the goddess even further. The goddess froze the dancers into statues. Since then, the place is called Pathar Nachania, or dancers made of stones. The next destination is reached after traversing a rough path and leaving the valley behind. Further ahead lies an enigmatic lake, Roopkund. This icy tarn lies between two peaks and stays frozen through most of the year. The Nanda Devi Raj-jat Yatra is associated with many legends, and this lake is no exception. According to one, Lord Shiva created this lake for his thirsty consort, Nanda Devi. Her beautiful reflection in the lake gave it its name, Roopkund, or Lake of Beauty. One can see many Brahmakamal or Sosurya flowers around the lake. Hundreds of bleached bones of men and horses have lain strewn here for years. The bones were first discovered in 1942 by a ranger, H.K. Madwal. Since then, this lake has intrigued anthropologists, scientists and historians alike. Another story which is prominent amongst locals holds that King Jasdhaval of Kannauj, along with his pregnant wife, his army, some dancers and servants, went for the Nanda Devi Raj-jat Yatra. He disregarded the place and asked his dancers to entertain him. Here, his pregnant wife delivered a child near the lake. The birth of the child, as well as dancers here, showed disrespect for the sacred place, which aggravated the goddess Nanda Devi. She sent a terrible hailstorm, which killed the king and his entire caravan. Ardent pilgrims believe that the king was killed by the wrath of Nanda Devi. Moving towards the 15th destination, Shila Samudra is not easy. The pilgrims have to pass through the narrow Junra Gali Dhar, which is the most difficult part of the entire trek. With a steep fall on one side, it is a rather dangerous bit of walking. It is thus referred to as Maut Ki Gali, which means the passage of death. From here, the pilgrims climb down to Shila Samudra. This place is renowned for an old temple of Lord Ganesha, the son of Lord Shiva and Parvati. The pilgrims worship the deity before moving ahead. The mighty peaks of Nanda Ghunti and Trishuli are visible from this point. After offering gifts and resting here for the night, the pilgrims move ahead in the morning. It is now time to send off the four-horned sheep, the avatar of goddess Nanda Devi, at Homkund. The main farewell ritual is performed here, and the chhatris and dolis are offered to the goddess at this place. The four-horned sheep is worshipped and offered gifts, ornaments and clothes carried by the pilgrims. Nanda Devi and other deities are worshipped here for one final time. The sheep will move alone from here on, and the trekkers will move back. Some say that the sheep sheds tears when it is time for it to leave the pilgrims and move ahead. It is an overwhelming scene as the pilgrims cry out in grief at the time of letting the goddess go. The sheep moves ahead to Kailash, and the pilgrims believe that the goddess herself accepts the offerings. The pilgrims watch the sheep till it disappears from sight, and then they move towards the next destination. Saddened by the farewell, the pilgrims return and reach the 16th halt, Chandaniya Ghat, where they spend the night in the thick forest. The next day sees them move to Sutol. Beside the confluence of the rivers Roopganga and Nandakini, the village of Sutol is a welcome halt for the pilgrims, where they get a warm welcome from the villagers. Moving along the river Nandakini, the pilgrims reach Ghat and break their arduous journey here. The next day they travel by buses or other vehicles and reach Naughty village. They distribute prasad to people along the way, as it is considered a holy deed. The Nanda Devi Raj-jat Yatra ends with a kirtan and a yajna. Thousands of pilgrims go on this trek in search of peace or for the cleansing of their sins. There are many reasons for people to go on this trek, but none for the four-horned sheep, which is believed to be the goddess's avatar. No one knows where, when and how the sheep disappears in Kailash or what happens to it. It is only due to true belief in the ritual and such miracles that the Nanda Devi Raj-jat Yatra happens in its full glory every 12 years.